The Gnostic story of creation gives us a vivid lens through which we can better understand the reality we are currently finding ourselves in. A lot of people out there are in disarray and have been taken by surprise. Many see a very different reality that stands before them, and many feel defeated, many feel overpowered. It's important to understand that there is a divine order to what we see before us. A slice of the Gnostic story of creation is going to put this divine order into perspective. A pivotal assumption in the Gnostic story of creation is that Earth is not and has never been created to be this physical object in the cosmos. It cannot be described using the grammars and vocabularies that we use to describe a physical object. Rather, Earth is a realm. It is experienced through our perceptive mechanisms that are functioning within this complex and multifaceted tapestry of electrical signals that come together and materialize into experience. Earth is not flat, spherical, concave, square. It is what you experience. It is a realm. Let's delve further into this. Earth was created from within a void. A void, by definition, is a completely empty space. So, think of what happens when you close your eyes. On the surface, you see nothing. But when your imagination kicks in, you see images. Imagination, hence images. Once your eyes are closed, you have a blank canvas to see and imagine anything you choose to. And think about where these images come from. They're electrical signals, and nothing more than electrical signals. In the Gnostic story of creation, Earth was created from within a void. In order to create imagery, electrical signals need to be there. Electrical signals translate to light, and light translates into dimension. This space and the electricity contained within it is known as consciousness. It is also referred to as the pleroma, which is the spiritual universe, the totality and the wholeness within. The creation of imagery is only possible when there exist reference points. In order to rise, one must know what it means to fall. In order to love, one must know what it means to hate. And in order to understand the feminine, one must experience the masculine. That's where Sophia comes into the picture. Sophia is known by the Gnostics as the feminine personification of wisdom. Sophia represents the heart and all of the many feminine attributes that relate to feeling and experiencing things through the heart. So that's where the term Mother Earth originated. The image of Earth has been created within the image of the feminine. Think of the creation process as a dream of sorts, and even more specifically, a story within the dream. Sophia, the feminine personification of wisdom, is centered at the heart. In order to complete the picture, her energy created an abrupt masculine counterforce known as Yaldabaoth. Yaldabaoth represents the masculine antithesis and creates a reference point for her. As I referred to earlier, reference points are very germane to our ability to understand wholeness and totality. Yaldabaoth responded to Sophia's heart with its direct antithesis. Energies of the heart represent abstraction, whereas the mind represents concrete expressions. Yaldabaoth represents all aspects of the mind, such as sequence and hierarchy and replication and consequence and other processes that are germane to mathematics. The mind does not have the ability to abstract. Abstraction comes from the heart. That's where Sophia met her match. Sophia eventually fell because Yaldabaoth did what he was created to do. He embodied the role of a computer, and logical and algorithmic processes identified the vulnerable elements within the heart and vigorously attacked it. In the eyes of a computer, Yaldabaoth was right. He stood and embodied the power of God with no gods above him. And by doing so, he sent Sophia into a fall that created what we today experience as shape and form and matter. Yaldabaoth is also known as the Demiurge, which I've made references to in past videos. I tell this story because it is so germane to understanding what's happening today. Throughout our current incarnation, we find ourselves having been ruled by Yaldabaoth. Many of the developments that have led to where we are today have been heavily weighted in masculine thought. Incidentally, these are energies symbolized by Saturn, and they materialize into what's referred to as the Saturn moon matrix. Saturn is ruled by the Greek god Cronus, and Cronus brings us control, the realization of boundaries, confinement, pain, struggle, and punishment. The moon simply serves as a carrier for these energies as they materialize in the physical earth realm. When the feminine is centered on the heart and the masculine is centered on the mind computer devised and executed a very calculated attack on the feminine heart and hence separated the moon from Earth. While the moon is labeled as feminine and has feminine undertones, understand that the moon is a corpse and she is under the influence of Saturn. Imagine killing a living being and using their corpse as a puppet. The puppet may have the appearance of a living being, but it's a corpse. The puppet's life energy is turned off so the puppeteer can express themselves through the puppet. And the puppet is a gateway that enables the puppeteer's expression. Without the puppeteer, the puppet is simply matter that lacks animation. When a living being is killed, it immediately begins to decompose, and eventually it decays to the point where it lacks any of the characteristics that defined what it once was. The moon has been Saturn's puppet and sold to Earth as a feminine force. The moon's mystique and lure were one of the surface feminine qualities, but the energies and corresponding messages she exudes are Saturnian. The moon is a simulacrum. She is an image of the feminine, but lacking the energies and qualities of the feminine. She resembles the feminine enough to fool her targets, but has in store for them a very, very bitter dose of the masculine that is disguised as feminine. She is a false light. And many of Saturn's guiding principles are breaking down because the moon is becoming a less and less viable avenue for Saturnian energies to be experienced by Earth. Since the moon is losing its effectiveness as a conveyance device, Saturnian energies are digging their heels deeper and deeper into the fray. And the deeper they dig, the clearer it's going to become that Sophia has outsmarted the machine Or better yet, the heart energy has overwhelmed the mind. The mind is not dead, but it is being contained. The masculine is not dead, but it is being contained. Control structures are disintegrating. The machine is taking a back seat and is beginning to work for the heart, not against it.
Do not try and bend the spoon. That's impossible. Instead, only try to realize the truth.
What truth?
There is no spoon.
There is no spoon?
Then you'll see that it is not the spoon that bends, it is only yourself.